feeling good on purpose with no reason that it's like someone else would expect you to feel good.
Get up, everybody move.
Hey, and welcome everybody to the next episode of Get Your Mind Right. I am your host, Soul Expression. I'm very, very happy to be with you. Thank you for being here. And so in today's episode of Get Your Mind Right, we're going to talk about one of the consistent things, or one of the things you want to do on a consistent frequency, okay, that will help you keep your mind right. You know, there's a saying, if you're persistent, you'll get it. And if you're consistent, you will keep it. And so one of the things that you'll want to do in the early stages that you'll definitely want to keep doing into the middle stages, and with the later stages of getting your mind right, you might not need it anymore because you might just be so advanced. But the beginning stages and the first few years of actually putting into practice the things we talk about in these videos, you'll definitely want to do this thing. And what exactly is it? Well, today we're going to talk about exercise. Exercise is so very, very helpful and supportive. And we're not just talking about exercising the body, but the body is the first thing that we will talk about. When you exercise the body, you are doing so many things. One, you're helping strengthen your lungs and your heart and the things in your brain and the things that are like making it possible for you to live pain-free. You're strengthening those things. You're elongating your pain-free time here on earth, right? And making certain things possible for yourself that wouldn't have been possible if you hadn't strengthened your extremity muscles, right? Your arm muscles and your leg muscles. If they were a certain amount of weak, right? If their weakness was greater than their strength, then you can't do certain things. And then once you're strong enough, then you can suddenly do certain things. Another thing with the body is it's never too late to start exercising your body, right? Somebody, there's like this 70-something-year-old bodybuilder, black woman who is beautiful, right? And looks great for her age. But also she says she didn't start working out until way late in her life. And she's a bodybuilder, right? So she does like competitions and stuff. So, it's never too late to get into activating your body. And of course, if you are starting late, you'll want to also exercise nutrition or exercise your discipline around nutrition to help support your exercising your body. Because if there's a lot of gunk in your system because you've been eating very unhealthy and a whole lot of fried and whatever foods, then when you start exercising and you start releasing that gunk to get flushed out through your number one and number two, so to speak, then with all of that gunk, it's going to make you sick if you're not eating enough nutrients, right? Enough vitamins and minerals, okay, to help your system. I'm trying to find the words to keep this as simple as possible, so that's why I'm pausing a lot. Anyway, if you eat enough vitamins and minerals while you're starting to exercise and while you're being consistent in your exercise, then that should at least keep you from getting sick, right? It doesn't mean that you have to go full plant-based vegan and raw foods only and only eat fruits and vegetables that are straight out of the garden only for as soon as you start exercising. But it just means that instead of your whole plate being junk foods and very heavily oiled foods and things like that, make at least half of your plate some raw vegetables. Put a salad on half of the plate and then put the other items on the other half of the plate, so that your portions are different and so that, like I said, you're getting a certain amount of nutrients that will support you on your exercise journey. And last thing about the body is that when you exercise the body, it helps you keep focused. Okay? You're doing something that's hard work. You're doing something that, even if you're doing, beginner level exercises, after the first round or 2 rounds, it gets hard, right? It gets hard to keep going. And so you're being met with thoughts of quitting. You're being met with thoughts of, I hate this and I don't really want to do this. And you're being met with all of these reasons to stop. And also you're being met with just tiredness. And so that is counteracted with your mind via your focus. Your level of focus will improve when you're consistent in working out your body, because it will have to be, because you will have to focus, and keep your attention off of the thoughts, that come and tell you to quit. Second thing you want to exercise on a consistent basis is your mind. Your mind has to be exercised. Without exercising my mind, I would not be so peaceful today. One of the biggest things about a person that doesn't exercise their mind is their habit of reaction. They're just so quick to react to everything and to feel bad feelings and negative feelings about every little thing that happens. And this is because they don't exercise their mind. It's like the number one reason why that happens is because you're not exercising your mind. It's like the mark of somebody that doesn't exercise their mind is reactive. Okay, it's like hyper-reactive. Okay, and exercising your mind is very simple. It just means staying still within your mind, not just your body, but staying still within your mind, okay, when you have reasons to react, to jump at something, to feel crazy, angry, bad feelings about something, but staying still. This has helped me tremendously in my life because, one, with my marriage and things, when things come up, because things come up in all relationships, we don't argue. We don't, me and my wife, we do not just sit and argue about something and try and hit each other with our opinions in a way that makes the other person wrong. But this habit was in me when we first met, right? So I had to exercise my mind in such a way that now I don't do that towards her. She doesn't do that towards me. I'm sure this habit was in her mind, it was in her habits as well. This pattern of making the other person wrong when you feel a certain kind of way was probably in her patterns as well, but she doesn't do that to me. When you're not exercising your mind and you're not able to stay still in your mind on purpose, with purpose, when you're met with something that kind of pushes one of your buttons, then you're going to react and you're going to sort of drift into an angry frequency when you didn't necessarily have to do that. And speaking of anger, the next thing you want to exercise is your emotions. Your emotions have to be exercised. Okay? That means feeling good on purpose with no reason to feel, with no reason that it's like someone else would expect you to feel good. There's a powerful way to enjoy yourself. The way I've learned to enjoy myself is to simply start suggesting to myself within my mind, and sometimes I do it out loud when, let's say, negativity is trying to push my buttons really strong on a certain day. Sometimes I'll do this out loud, but most of the time in my mind, I'll just suggest to myself that I am enjoying myself, and I'll say that in my mind's eye, kind of a couple times until it starts to build some momentum. And then the words may change from I'm enjoying myself to I'm enjoying this moment, or okay, I'm at peace. Thank you, to the Supreme for my life. And things just start to grow. But at first, I'm just saying kind of over and over, but rhythmically and gently, and with loving inner tones, that I am enjoying myself. right? And when you can learn to enjoy yourself, when you can exercise enjoying yourself, then you're exercising your emotions. Because when you're automatically enjoying yourself multiple times throughout the day, then when the problems show up, when the certain things show up that will push your emotional buttons, your negative ones, then they will be met with this wall of light and love, love and light, and they won't be able to pass through because you're practicing, you're exercising, and you're strengthening positive emotions and love for self. You know, self-love is probably the most powerful tool in the universe, is self-love. Not self-centeredness, but self-love, right? And being able to recognize yourself in all of the reflections that show up in your life. And these things are very important. So exercise your emotions. Next thing you want to exercise on a regular basis, okay? And this one might seem a little tricky because at first it's a little hard to catch, okay? But you want to be able to exercise your attention. Your attention is what you need to exercise. That means two things. One, learn to see that which watches attention. Okay, you know, your attention, most of the time we take our attention to be our literal self. Right? Whatever we're paying attention to, that's what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to this, and that. I'm thinking this, and that. I'm, you know, I don't know if this is a word, but opinionizing this, and that, right? Or philosophizing this, and that. So where our attention is, we call ourself. But actually, in reality, and in your experience of the whole thing, your attention might be here on this video, but there's also something deeper within you that you call I, okay? That's watching where your attention is. And sometimes it's hard to catch because that which watches attention doesn't jump with attention. Yet if your attention is being jumpy today, you will know that my attention is jumping everywhere. And you're only able to know that because you are not your attention, because there's something deeper that watches attention keep jumping from here to here to here to here. And so how do you exercise your attention? By simply recognizing an inner stillness. And luckily, you already are in possession of inner stillness. Everything that is a thing, okay, comes from or arises within otherwise no thing. Okay? Everything arises in otherwise no thing. Okay? Space is not a constant, entity, or an entity that's a constant in everything. Space arises as a simultaneously, but as a result of the things that are organized within it. Okay, that may have sounded a bit contradictory, and that's probably because I don't have a high level of piecing certain illogical yet very true and experienced things together. But just excuse that. Basically, space, your self that watches your attention is kind of like space. Your attention arises within yourself, just like things arise in space or nothingness. Okay, and then when things are in it, now there's space between the things, there as a result of things being organized in it, there is space. So just like that, there is your attention, and there is the various things that you pay attention to throughout the day, arising in an inner stillness. And so exercising your attention is keeping your attention on your inner stillness. And this will also greatly improve your ability to respond instead of react, or just know when to shrug it off your shoulders, let it roll off like water on a duck's back, and just simply let it go and move on without responding, which is oftentimes the best case scenario, believe it or not. And so this video is getting long enough, and I think I've said enough about exercise. I hope that this shed some light on you and for you and gave you some inspiration to start exercising. Hit 10 push-ups today and do like 3 lunges and see how you feel. Get on a bike and go ride somewhere and wear your COVID-19 mask or whatever you like to do. And I will, well, first of all, I'd like to say that I do teach these things. I'm a lifestyle coach and a meditation coach. And through my company, we have a yoga instructor. And we do teach these things. We're coaches, we can help. So reach out, feel free to reach out to us via the links in the description. And I also teach some of these things, especially dealing with the mind, in a online course that I'm creating called Mentalism Mechanics. And again, just hit us up under the contact us links in the description below. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for being here. Peace and love. So if you're new to Ufulu Child, make sure you subscribe to get more mind mastery content dropped straight into your YouTube feed. If you enjoyed today's episode of Get Your Mind Right, let me know by clicking that like button, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace and love.